When I first started my business, I was blogging about my travel. I was in the middle of this 2.5 month road trip with my then husband, and we were traveling across North America, through the states, across the Trans-Canada Highway. We went I think 8,000 miles total, and I was blogging about it. I was sharing with the people in my newsletter every week where we had gone. I was doing posts, multiple times a week with photo logs and different photos of locations that we had been at, and talking about how I was being healthy on the road. And at the same time, I was running a business and a blog around healthy living, and specifically plant-based healthy living. And so I was doing all of this, and I was taking people along this travel journey, and people loved it. They wanted to hear my newsletters. They were tuning in. They were curious about where I was going next, and they loved the story. They loved following me. But I didn't get any clients or customers from it. I didn't make any money off of that. They were following the story, but I didn't have connected the pieces that really drove my business that went along with it. Didn't have the clarity of that part. So today I'm going to be talking about how to create that killer brand story for your business that moves your people to action. So this is including what parts to leave out, what parts to keep in, and how to kind of cinch it into the most important pieces, but also how to use this beautiful element of storytelling so that you can connect with people, but also in a way that's going to drive to your business and help them have the aha moments that, yes, connect to you, but also show why your service or what you do is so powerful and could be powerful for them too. Awesome. Okay, so I see we've got some people live. Hello, Grace. Yay. I see Chloe. I see Sunila. Sandra. Fabulous. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just share this over to the group so that I can make sure everyone possible can see it. With that little teaser I just gave you. All right. Thanks for your patience. I feel like there should be some magical thing that Facebook gives us, some tool, maybe it's a third-party tool someone makes that makes it really easy for you to share things quickly. Okay, so, Shanti's here, awesome. Thanks for joining. All right, so who am I in case you don't know? My name is Adria DeCourt. I am a TEDx speaker. I'm host of the Unforgettable podcast. I'm creator of the program Get Clear, Get Clients, and I am your hostess for this 5-day standout challenge that I'm taking you through. And if you're tuning in through my page and you don't know what that is, it's essentially a week where we are getting clear on the things that make us stand out, that set us apart, make us completely one of a kind as a coach, so that our ideal clients, our dreamy, dreamy clients, won't settle for anyone else. So that's what we're doing. There's a link above you can click if you want to join us and jump in. It's not too late. Start where you are. Or you just can put in the comments, invite me, and I'll make sure you get the link. All right, so if you're in the challenge and if you have an accountability partner, go ahead and tag them so that you can make sure that she sees this video, because it's going to be good. And if you don't have an accountability partner, then tag someone that you want to see this, that you want to be your accountability partner. It's a little bit of a nudge. All right. If you miss things as we go, because I know some of you have been getting a little bit, stressed, like, oh no, I didn't do the homework for yesterday, or like, can I move on? Or I promise I'll get it to you. Just breathe. And know that the goal of this week is to generate some aha moments for you in your business, a little bit of clarity. So each win is a win. Each little shift that you make takes you one step further, and you can implement it in how you talk about your business, how other people see your business. And just one little shift, just a 1 degree shift that you might make during this week could have a huge impact in your business and in people seeing you and wanting to work with you, and you being able to help those people that you want to help. So just know that you are going to get out of this what you need to. That's not like a blanket, like, don't do the work, because the work is powerful. Trust me, if you do all of the exercises, show up to all these videos, you're going to be like rocking things. Your business is like, the work you put in is going to matter, but I don't want you to hold so tightly to like having to follow the rules and having to do all the things that you miss some of the insights that might come up if you're like having more of an open hand with this experience. So imperfect action, ladies. All right. And you guys are doing a great job, honestly. In the group, posting things, posting your story, posting your problems you solved yesterday, posting all your skill set on Monday. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous job. Yes. All right. So keep posting those assignments as you come to them, but keep moving also. If like a new day starts and you haven't done the assignment, just jump in and start with us there, because you got to collect all 4 of these to make yourself a real, truly standout coach, but they don't have to go in order. And I'm going to give you on Friday kind of a little bonus surprise where I'm going to recap everything and give it all to you. So just know that's coming. All right. You're on the live right now, so you know, or if you're watching the replay, we're going live every day at 12 p.m. PST, same thing. So today's Wednesday, Thursday and Friday, we're doing the same thing. And on Friday, I will share that, so there are 4 pieces in this puzzle, right? So today is piece number 3 of the puzzle. Tomorrow we have the final piece in the puzzle. And then on Friday, I am going to be helping you put together the puzzle. So helping you assemble the puzzle, if it will, all the pieces together, tie them together in the way that's going to get you clients. So make sure to show up for that live, like block it out in your calendar if you can, noon PST on Friday. That's going to be the main event of Friday, where we're really tying it all together. And for those of you who really want to take it even further and go deeper and figure out how to turn this into your offering and their content you're creating that you're getting known for, and all those other business building pieces of clarity, I'll be sharing about my Get Clear, Get Clients program at the end of our training on Friday. But either way, we're doing the training. We're like helping you piece the puzzle together. So wanted to put that reminder for you because I want you to get the most out of this. So even if you've missed a couple activities at that point, come to that because it's going to be powerful. All right. So that is enough housekeeping. If anyone has had a breakthrough or an aha moment or just a little piece of clarity as you've been going, post it in the chat. I want to hear. I want to know what's going on for you, what's popping and coming up, because chances are someone else may have had something similar. So it's kind of cool to connect and relate to each other that way. And I love how you guys are all like commenting. Sandra's like, I'm here. And Shanti says, hi, peeps. You know, I love just the interaction and the engagement, how you guys are loving up on each other in the Facebook group. It's just like, makes me so happy. It's my favorite thing in my business, getting to see you guys creating community and building relationships and getting to interact with all of you. So I'll be coming back into the Facebook group and like posting all your posts. So don't worry, like I'm giving you a little bit of feedback on this call. So if you have questions, if you have things you want a little bit of coaching support on this, please pop it into the chat and I will get to you when we get to the Q&A section. But no, I'll come back through a little bit in the group as well and do that because I like to kind of like put my hands on all your posts a little bit. But I was at the gym this morning. I'm trying to take care of myself this week, even though it's busy, because I'm a huge believer in the energy you put into your business is the energy that comes out of it, and the energy you bring and you show up with in terms of taking care of yourself is a big part of that. All right, so I've talked long enough. I can see some thumbs up. Yes. All right, so when let's see, maybe at the first year in business, you know how I was telling you about at the beginning of this live, if you hopped on right at the beginning, I was sharing about how I was doing that big road trip through North America and I was blogging about it. I was doing photo logs and people were following on my newsletter, my journey, and they loved hearing about it. Well, maybe about a year later, so a year into my business, I decided that I really wanted to put myself out there. I had been hearing all of this marketing advice saying that, okay, you want to start a business, you want to grow your following, you want it to lead to clients, okay, you got to put yourself out there. So I decided to produce this half-day event. I got sponsors, a professional videographer. I invited speakers to come to it. I had a professional marketing team. It was like the whole shebang, like really putting myself out there. And I had about 65 people in the room when the day of the event came. Super fabulous. Really proud of it. It was a really powerful experience for people. I was hearing all these great things that were coming up for people as they went through the event. And then we got to the end of the event, and I ended up getting 0 clients from it. And one of my speakers, she got 10. And that, as you can imagine, was incredibly, incredibly discouraging for me. That I had done the work, I had created a beautiful event, I had been a great speaker and shown up, I had helped people make some transformations during that day, and I hadn't translated into clients. And so I thought for a moment, okay, like what is the reason? Like why did this happen? How come I had a different result than her? What was the difference between the two of us? And as I started to percolate on that, I realized that the real difference was that she was super clear on what it was she did and how she communicated about it. And so everyone got it. They got what they would do with her. They got the value in her work. She was, like we talked about yesterday, she was clear on the problems she solved and talking about it in language that those people understood. And that was the difference, right? And so that was when I had that big aha moment for myself and started making that shift, figuring out, okay, what is it that I really do? Who are the people that I help? What is that problem that I'm solving? All the work you guys did yesterday, that is when I started doing that work. And it shifted everything in my business. Because suddenly when I talked about my business at an event, a networking event, or a conference, or over lunch with an entrepreneur girlfriend, they got it. And they wanted to sign up. And they began to be invited to speak at events and on online summits. Because people saw the value in what I was doing. And it was just this complete full body relief when one day I realized that I had gone from having 0 clients and struggling and feeling like I was going to quit my business and my marriage being on the verge of divorce. I had gone from that to working with a full roster of my ideal clients. When I had my first 10K month in my business and I realized that I can do this and that I can help those people that I meant to help, and when it kept replenishing itself. And that is why I do the work that I do today. Because I know that you've got this super, super powerful drive inside you to make a difference. And I want you to be able to reach the people and have them understand why they need you. So, story is a really, really powerful way that we can help other people move through to an aha moment, help them have that burst of insight. It's different than us telling them something, right? It's different than us being on our soapbox and saying, oh, the power of messaging and clarity and knowing what you're talking about. It's different, right? It's story helps them actually experience it for themselves so they can have the same aha moment you did. So that is the power of a brand story. And what I just shared with you is a little abridged, off-the-cuff version of one of the stories that I like to share to help my people have an aha moment as they go through in the importance of this work. So I know that you guys posted, I've seen several of you posting in the group your assignment for today, writing your little mini 3-sentence story, and I know it's super hard to write 3 sentences, and I'm going to address that in a moment, help you figure out how you can how you can do that, how you can tweak what you got. But you see how powerful it has. I mean, let me know in the comments, and I haven't told that story in a little while, and so I just told it off the cuff. So imperfect action. I just decided right before I got on this I was going to do that. But let me know if you've experienced the power of story. If my story felt like you had a little bit of a aha moment as you went through, or if you've watched TED Talks and you've had that experience of story. Let me know. I'm very curious. All right, just taking a look. Shanti says she loves the reminder, and Grace says she posted her story. Yes. So I've seen in the group, we've got stories of writing a book when you felt like you couldn't, getting divorced, anxiety, finding solidarity in yourself, overcoming fear in front of the camera, recovering health in your 40s. Like, we've got such a nice, beautiful array of diverse stories going on in the group that you guys have posted so far, and I love it. It's fabulous because you see how story starts to become incredibly unique. No one else has your story. If they have your story, I would wonder, right? Like, your story is your story. And it is one of the ways that, yes, connects you to people. Yes, positions you, showing that you're an expert because you've been through something, you've come out the other side, and look at your high point that you've accomplished. But it also sets you apart. And that's why we're talking about it during this standout challenge, because you have not just your brand story, but you have a combination of different stories that you can tell at different points in your business. That combination is even more unique than just that one story. Okay. So remember, stories have a low point, a turning point, and a high point. So for me, my low point was when I did that event and I got no clients and I was struggling in my business. And I didn't say this when I was impromptu sharing it a moment ago, but I was working 80 hours a week. My marriage was on the verge of divorce. My health was just going down the toilet, even though I was a health coach at the time. So low point, right? And feeling like I was going to quit. Turning point, realizing there must be something that was the difference between me and the speaker that I invited to my event and the amount of clients she got versus me, right? That realization, it was that clarity in her messaging and how she talked about her work. And then high point, what's happened for me since I've shifted, right? So these are those three key pieces to help move people through. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about if you are stuck on your story, okay? So let me know in the comments if you're feeling stuck and let me know what it is you are stuck on so I can help you move through that right now if this is you. And if you're watching the replay, I've said this before, I'll keep saying it. I come back through and I interact and engage with you guys on this video. So comment or post as I ask questions because I'm asking you too. I'm not just asking people who are live because I know a lot of you are watching the replay because you couldn't make it live. Okay. All right. So I'm seeing that Chloe posted something. So I want to address that then. Let's see. Okay, so Chloe's talking about what she solves for people. So I'm going to table that to the end so we can first talk about story and keep it all in context. So Chloe, if for some reason I get all like soapboxy at the end and I forget to come back to you, comment and be like, hey, Adria, remember to help me with my problem, my problem myself. Okay, so if you are stuck on your story, think about an aha moment that you had while you were solving your problem. So we did that work yesterday, right? We went through, okay, what is the problem I solve for my people? And as you were processing that and it was kind of coming up for you, what was the aha moment that you needed to have in order for things to shift in your life? Or if you were helping someone else, what was the aha moment that they needed to have for things to shift in their life? That's something you could think about if you're stuck on what your brand story is. Okay? Let me know in the comments if that helped, or if that unlocked anything for you. I'm curious. Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about what parts of your story to tell, like how to figure out which things to tell in your story. Okay, so first of all, to make a really powerful story, you got to really reverse engineer where you want people to be at the end. So in your business, and we're going to talk a little bit more about this tomorrow, in your business, there is, like, what I like to talk about, and this is what I do in my Get Clear, Get Clients program, is help you figure this out, but there's like a core message behind your work. I think tomorrow will really set it up well for you, so just know that this is coming. But you want them to be at a certain place, like you want them to have had a certain aha moment, to be in a certain place where they're ready to work with you, right? Like they need to understand the importance of your work. So that's why we figured out the problem you solved yesterday, so that you know where you want them to be. So you have a little bit of clarity around, okay, well, if I'm helping women who are divorced to kind of let go of all that anger and resentment so they can open to love again, then maybe what I need to be at by the end of my little brand story, maybe where I want them to be is in a place where they realize that the anger and resentment that they have is holding them back. And so they need to let it go, right? So think about, where do you want them to be by the end of that little brand story? And then reverse engineer. Okay, what aha moment do they need to have? And what aha moment did I have? And that's how you can start to break it apart and make sure it's kind of like a little bit more strategic, leading them through to where they want to go. And I say, a lot of you guys did a fabulous job with your stories. They're beautiful. And a little bit of thing that I'm going to challenge you on is, how can you make your story a story? How can you allow them to kind of see and feel at the beginning? So the beginning part of your story, when you're in that low point, that's when you're really connecting with them, because chances are, I mean, if they're your ideal client, they're in that low point, right? So when you're sharing your low point, that's tuning them in, that's connecting to them, helping them be like, okay, right. She understands where I'm at, and they're listening up because it's specific to what they're going through, right? So you're starting at that place, and then you're moving them through that aha moment you have, and then you're showing them what's possible and inspiring them based on where your high point is, right? Okay. Chloe says she loves the story piece. It was a joy to read everyone else. Okay. So yeah, so what do they need to know and what don't they need to know, right? Because sometimes we want to throw in all these extra details in our story. And that's why I had you guys just try at least to do the 3-sentence story, because what is the most important things that they need to know? Sometimes we throw in extraneous details, and some of them can be really helpful to help people visualize, to help people feel the emotion, to move through it. But some of them can actually detract from the power of the aha moment you want them to have. So thinking about this is once again taking your coach hat off, like we talked about yesterday. What do they need to move through? Not how can I tell it exactly as it happened and every little detail is going to get thrown in there. No, what are the pieces that they need to move through to get to where they're going? Okay. I have a whole podcast episode that I did on over-communicating. Because I can be an over-communicator, definitely. I tend more to being an over-communicator than to being an under-communicator. That's for sure. I'm very, very thorough. Okay. So let's see. I'm taking a look at my notes, make sure I captured everything. Okay, so I know one of the things that Chloe was talking about before, and I'm going to address this first. And if you guys have questions about your story or questions about anything else, go ahead and post them in the chat. or in the comments so I can get to them and give you a little bit of feedback or coaching or answer your question, whatever it is you need in order to move you forward. So if you're stuck on something, if you're wondering about something, whatever it is, let me know. Even if you're watching the replay, remember? Okay. So one of the things that Chloe had posted in the group was she was unsure how to shorten her story, right? Because a lot of times, actually pretty much most times, it's much easier to write something long than it is to write something short and concise and powerful. So I think I just answered that probably when I was talking about what do they need to move through, what do they need in that, and what do they not need, right? Like looking at it from their perspective is like what pieces do they need to experience to move them through to the other end, and releasing other things that aren't necessary to the overall goal. So yeah, I think I said a lot about that earlier. So if anything else specific, Chloe, you can let me know. All right, so I want to address I'm going to address Chloe's other question in just a moment, but first I want to look at what Sunila was just saying. She said, my biggest issue is deciding what to offer first and what's the first step I should be doing. I suppose that has to do with story. So Sunila, can you clarify for me? Do you mean what to offer first, like a coaching package? Like what coaching package or what offering so that people have something to pay you for? Is that and like your first step to do as a coach? Clarify for me, let me know in the chat, in the comments. I don't know why I keep saying chat. It's a chat comments, you know. All right. I'm going to give Sunila one more moment. I know there's a lag. Yes, I have many things I work with people on. Okay. Okay, so this is a great question because I am willing to bet that most of us in here are multi-passionate. I'm very multi-passionate. I tend to attract multi-passionate people. And entrepreneurship in general, like, I mean, if one of the beautiful things about entrepreneurship is that you get to keep evolving, right? You're not stuck in one specific job. You keep evolving what it is you do. So this is probably super relevant for most of us. Let me know in the chat if you feel like you're multi-passionate as well, just like Sunila and I am. Okay, so you have many things you want to work with people on, choosing what to offer. Okay, cool. So one of the things that I would say is that a lot of times what happens is related to yesterday, so the problem we solved, day two's little mini exercise and what we were going through. A lot of times what happens is we have all these different passions, and so we feel like we have to choose one and we'll have to like let all the rest go. But sometimes one of the coolest things is, so I have two ways of answering this. So the first way that I want to share is that often the tools that you have at your disposal, so the different things you work with people on, are part of your tool chest, like we talked about on day one, and they can be used to solve a bigger problem. So often you can bring a lot of those tools together to solve the problem that we talked about yesterday. So I use the example of Holly, one of my clients who is a hypnotherapist and a life coach. And she works with actors on stage fright, right? So she has those tools and she combines them together to solve that, right? For example, I am a really good editor, very good with the moving around language. And I'm also fabulous at like user experience from my architecture background, and big picture thinking from my plant ecology master's and the work I did for the government, and probably a lot of other things. And I kind of bring all those pieces together to what I do. So I do coaching, but we also work in a shared Google Docs so that there's a lot of editing as we're doing the coaching work. I use my intuition, like I have a lot of intuitive hits for clients around their wording and their messaging and their clarity and like what it is they actually do and how you tie the threads together. So it's like I'm using that as part of what I'm doing. like there's a lot of different pieces that come into that, right? I'm using all those tools in my tool chest together. So that is my first answer to that question. And then the second one is that yesterday we talked a lot on the live stream. If you didn't catch it, towards the end of the live stream when Grace was talking about like her fear of niching down, we talked a lot about the power of choosing a niche and choosing one place to focus on to start with so that people are listening up and hearing you. So that it's not like you have to cut out everything else. Like if someone comes to you for that, that's awesome. But when you're marketing and when you're getting out there and talking about your work, having one focused thing that you're starting off getting known for, so it's easier to get known. It's hard to get known for 5 things at once, right? You may have experienced this yourself if you're multi-passionate. But if you're getting known for one thing at a time and then you're layering on another once you're known for the first one, it can be a lot easier and more powerful for you. So those are my 2 answers to that. And let me see what Sunila is saying. Sunila was saying, I suppose my question could be, how do I make it clear and more precise? Yeah, yes, that's exactly it. Cool. Awesome. So that's perfect. Good question, because I'm all for precise and clear. If you followed anything that I do, that's like one of my total geek out things is clarity. So I would say a lot of clarity comes from action. And I talk about perfect in action. Perfect in action. Yes, I do actually talk about perfect in action and imperfect action, which is the opposite of it. I want you to do the imperfect action. Like starting to take action and move forward generates clarity oftentimes, most times. Not waiting to create it in your head. And so that's why today, as we're doing this work, it's like we're pulling stuff out, but then we're posting it in the group, right? Like we're getting it out there and we're letting it sit and we're building on it with the next exercise and we keep moving forward. We're not sitting there and dwelling all week on one thing circling around in our head, right? Like I would say the honing and the clarity and the refining, that comes from, yes, having all these prompts like we're doing, like having someone who helps you kind of pull it out of yourself and keep moving it through, but also layering on these different pieces of clarity. And that's actually why I created Get Clear, Get Clients that way. The way it is, you don't know because you haven't been in it, but a way that it layers on different things, kind of like what we're doing this week, where you're laying forward. Yes. Okay. So I've said enough about that. I'm going to look at the chat. I hope you guys didn't just lose me because it said my connection was poor for a moment. So hopefully you came back in. Okay. Sunila says she's going to post her story today. Grace says she could use a bit of help with her story. Grace, let me know exactly what you want help with. Don't post your whole story because it's like too much for me to read in here, but post just like what it is, what your question is for me. Okay. Chloe says imperfect action, so valuable to hear and do. Yes. Okay. So let me go back to Chloe's earlier question that she had. Okay. She said, I help people move from fear to courage, from lack of confidence to confidence in writing their book. And you mentioned this is my process and not what I solve for them. So I realized from my clients' point of view, I help them to see that all their life experience has been worthwhile and that their story matters and they can be the light to others. This seemed good. I posted a question on Facebook asking randomly what keeps people from telling their story and writing their book, and the main response was fear. This being the main thing I help them through. So wouldn't this be what I solve? Ooh, this is so good, Chloe. Okay, I hope you're still on. Chloe, let me know if you are still on. I'm going to keep going anyway, though. Okay. So yes, I feel like you've started to uncover, and you did a fabulous job of actually asking the people who are your ideal clients what it is they feel like they're struggling with, what keeps them from writing their book, right? So I think you're starting to uncover that problem you solve, and it feels like it is connected to that these are people who feel like they have something to share. They have a story to share with the world, but they're scared to share it. And I would challenge you to dig a little bit deeper into why they're scared, and flesh that out a little bit. But I think you're totally on the right track, because and why they want to share it. Like why they want to share it, why they're scared to share it. And I think when you start going in that direction, then you'll really hit some gold. Yay. All right, cool. I'm glad you were on and you heard that. Anybody else? Grace said that you said that you wanted a little bit of support around your story. I'm here if you want to post what your question is, and be laser focused on what you want from me. Anyone else, if you want to post this, even if you're watching the replay, I will come back around and give you a little bit of feedback. Be laser focused on what you want from me. We're practicing that clarity right now. Practicing it right now. I'm just going to make sure I didn't miss anybody. And great job. You guys are doing such a freaking fabulous job. One more reminder before we hop off today that tomorrow we're getting the fourth piece in the puzzle. It's a 4-piece puzzle. You're getting the fourth piece. And remember, on Friday, I'm gonna help you put that puzzle together, essentially. So everything that we're doing this week, these 4 pieces of the puzzle, we're gonna figure out how to tie it all together to do the most important things to get you those clients. So that is what we are doing on Friday. And at the end, I'm going to share a little bit about this Get Clear, Get Clients program that I've been randomly talking about in case you've been wanting that deeper support, figuring out what your offerings are, figuring out how to talk about what you do, what content to put out into the world to get known for this, all those extra pieces. So yes, I will. Grace says she's trying to find it. Grace, I don't want you to post the whole thing because I can't, it's hard to read on when I'm live. But if you just have a question for me, I could totally answer the question right now before I hop off. Like let me know what it is, Grace. Let me know what it is you want me to answer rather than reading your whole story. Just post that and I will answer that before we hop off because chances are someone else might have the same question. And just so you know, I will be kind of going through and looking a little bit at people's stories, giving a little bit of pieces of feedback in the group after this. I like, getting my eyes on all your stuff. Grace says she's not really sure. You're not really sure what it... So this might help other people. So Grace, you have a sense that you just want feedback on how it feels and how it's landing for people. So my first question for you is, when you posted it in the group, were you getting comments from other people? Because this group is like the perfect testing ground for all of this. I don't know if you noticed, but certain people's posts on each day have been getting a lot more comments than other people. And sometimes maybe it's the time of day, sometimes things get buried if it's too early or whatever it is, but sometimes it shows that you kind of hit on something that other people are intrigued by, or that draws them in or captures them. And so I feel like that's a great test of whether your story is landing. And okay, what the heck? I'm just going to go through Grace's story because I think this might be helpful for people. I realized I've actually gone really long today on this training, way too long, sorry. Let me look at Grace's story and just give a little bit of feedback because I think it might help. Okay, in 2015, my child was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. This event put to good use all of what I knew about mindset and accelerated my personal power. I now understand that the energy of the people who surround you, the way we talk to ourselves through our challenges, our hopes, and our dreams is a powerful tool to leverage permanent change in your life and empower you to outrise your fears, even the biggest challenges, with fierce grace. Okay, so here's my feedback. First of all, beautiful. And Grace, since we've been doing different pieces of work together for the last maybe year or two, I've really seen this evolve for you. I've seen you get a lot more clarity in what your story is and how you're communicating it. So kudos, fabulous. And I will also say that a couple of places that I could see this being even more powerful is, okay, so your low point is when your child was diagnosed with cancer, right? And we want to feel that emotion. So what did you feel when, so like maybe if we're doing 3 sentences, right? The first sentence is, in 2015, my child was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and I felt blank, you know, like tap into that emotion of your low point to help other people feel it too. And then the turning point is like, what is the aha moment that you had? So, like, why did you, what made you got to phrase it a little bit more like a aha moment. So right now you say, the event put to good use all of what I knew about mindset and accelerated my personal power. So what did you need to get through it? What was the piece of your accelerated personal power and mindset? Like, what's that aha moment that you had? Was there a moment when you realized I can't be doing it like this, I need to do it like this instead, and that shifted everything? Like, think about that for your sentence 2. And I think that's I now understand that the energy of the people who surround you, the way we talk to ourselves and through our challenges, is a powerful tool to leverage. So that sentence, you can kind of take it and turn it into like, how do you understand that? Like, what was the aha moment that led to that understanding, right? And then I would end like the sentence 3 is, how did that create shift now for you? Like, what did that do? Did that allow you to move through and support your child through this, your son through this? Did that, like what is the end point that your ideal client would want for themselves? So that helps. You see how it helps them move through this? All right. Oh, I see you posted a lot here. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. Yeah, Chloe's saying, yeah, I want to know how she came to her power. What's the low point? Yep, perfect, exactly. Okay, so see, Grace, you kind of have these starting blocks that you can put into this to make it more powerful and to help move people through that aha moment. So instead of just telling them, you're helping them experience the aha moment by sharing what your shift was. Like, I realized in order to get through this, in order to show up for my son, I needed to blank. And that's when I accessed this blah, 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 you know? And because of that, I've been able to blank, right? That's how it starts to look. So hopefully that has given you help. Hopefully anyone who's watching this, that has helped you understand how you can apply this to yourself. Let me know in the comments if that was useful. And let me know if anyone else has any other questions. It sounds like Grace has got like all the juices flowing now, and you're really like channeling what to say and how to shift this, which is fabulous. Yes, if anyone else has anything else, you're welcome, Grace. I'm happy to support, but if not, I know this one has gone a lot longer. I didn't even realize what time it was. Obviously, story is something I'm super passionate about. I think I'm going to do a podcast episode around it because I like to talk about it. And I've really been diving into it lately myself, too. You may notice if you listen to my podcast, if you watch my Facebook Lives, I've started incorporating at least one story into every different thing that I do so that I have that way of connecting and that way of helping people have their own aha moments through what I'm saying. Okay. Yeah, Chloe loves your story, Grace. Yeah. Awesome. Cool. Alrighty. So, ladies, I will see you in the group, and stay tuned for our final piece of the 4-piece puzzle tomorrow, which is actually going to be pretty awesome. I don't want to give too much away, but this is the stuff tomorrow that really helps create raving fans. So today we helped you do the stuff that gets connection with your people. Tomorrow is the stuff that like makes them like just want you, just like be so freaking loyal to you. So until then, teaser, I will see you in the Facebook group and look for that assignment tomorrow morning. I'll be looking for your story posts. If you want to get a little extra credit, you can go on your story post and cinch it down into 3 sentences, see what you can do with that. And I will see you tomorrow at 12 p.m. PST. Again, same place, same time, to talk about our puzzle piece number 4 tomorrow.